Hey everybody, things are really accelerating. I have so much stuff to play for you today. I have memes. We are waiting for Kayleigh McEnany at the top of the hour. The rare early press briefing in advance of Donald Trump having a bunch of stuff on his schedule. Let me actually pull up that schedule. What does he have? He's having lunch with Mike Pompeo. Okay. All right, well, listen, it's something. At least he's not merely sitting around watching TV, right? Is that something we can say? Okay. Yes, where to even start? There's an interview with Jonathan Swan from Axios, and it is, when we saw the Chris Wallace interview 2 weeks ago, it seemed like maybe that was the worst interview Trump had ever done until I saw the Axios interview. I don't have time to play the entire thing for you, but I have a couple of clips. Hold on a second. I also received a video of Trump, I guess, doesn't know how to pronounce Yosemite. Let's very quickly look at that first, and then we'll look at some of the Axios video.
Gaze upon Yosemites, towering.
Yosemite. Oh my God. People are saying my volume is low. That's weird. It should be where it always has been. That's really straight. There's no it's maxed. It seems to be only one person who's insisting on that. So maybe it's actually fine. Anyway, let's look at this again. Yosemite.
When they gaze upon Yosemites.
Oh man, it's too crazy. It's like plasma. That's crazy. All right, so now let's go to the Axios interview. Now, this is just one clip, okay? This already has 23 million views. This is outrageous. Let's take a look, and you're going to see a confused Trump handing pieces of paper to Jonathan Swan. He doesn't understand what the papers are. It's just crazy.
Take a look at some of these charts.
I'd love to.
We're going to look.
Let's look.
And if you look at death...
Yeah. It's started to go up
here's
again.
One. Well, right here, the United States is lowest in numerous categories. We're lower than the world.
We're lower than the world. Look at the oh my God, look at this pause. Look at the expression on Jonathan Swan's face. Screenshot it. This is just, that's crazy, right? We're lower than the world.
Lower than the
lower
world?
than
What is that?
Europe.
In what?
Look.
In what?
Take a look. Right here. Here's case death.
Oh, you're doing death as a proportion of cases. I'm talking about death as a proportion of population. That's where the US is really bad.
Well,
much worse than South Korea, Germany, etc.
You can't do that. You have
Why
to go.
can't I do that?
You have to go. By,
Yeah, as people are pointing out on Twitch, 50 million or 60 million people are still going to vote for the guy.
You have to go by where. Look, here is the United States. You have to go by the cases. The cases.
Why not as a proportion of
when
population?
We have somebody. What it says is when you have somebody that where there's a case.
Oh, okay.
The people that live from those cases.
It's surely a relevant statistic to say if the US has X population and X percentage of death of that population versus
you
South
have to
Korea.
go by the cases.
Well, look at South Korea, for example. 51 million population.
It's funny because Trump's argument is mostly case numbers don't matter because we test a lot, but he insists about talking about the death rate not in the context of the population, but in the context of cases. Like it's completely incoherent.
300 deaths. It's like, it's crazy.
You don't know that.
I do. It's
You
on
don't know that.
You think they're faking their statistics, South Korea?
So this is a crutch. I go into this on the clip that I just recorded. This is an epistemological crutch where at any time you can just say, do we really know anything, right? And it's not particularly valuable when at any time you can just say, anything we believe we know, we might not know. Like, okay, if it's a philosophy class, if it's an epistemology class, if it's a critical thinking class, okay, we would talk about how do we know when we can trust something. But to use it as a crutch in this way is a really lame move.
I won't get into that because I have a very good relationship with the country, but you don't know that. And they have spikes. Look, here's
Germany,
one.
low,
Here's
9,000.
Here's one right here, United States. You take
Anyway.
the number of cases.
Okay.
Now look, we're last, meaning we're first.
Last, I don't know
We
what
have
we're
the
first
best.
in.
We're last meaning we're first. We're the best.
As a what?
Take a look.
Okay.
Again, it's cases.
Okay.
And we have cases because of the testing. Wait.
1,000 Americans are dying a day, but I understand. I understand on cases it's different.
No, but you're not reporting it correctly, Jonathan.
I think I am, but
If you take a look at this other chart, look, this is our testing, I believe. This is the testing, yeah.
yeah, we do more tests.
No, wait a minute. Well, don't we get credit for that? And because we do more tests, we have more cases. In other words, we test.
So it's funny again. So now Trump has shifted to, instead of arguing about about the death rate, he's talking about cases. But at the same time, he wants to use the cases as a framework for talking about deaths. Yet he says cases don't really matter because we just test a lot. Like, if you're confused by what I'm saying, it's because it's confusing.
Well, we have. Now take a look. The top one, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. The top, Jonathan.
If hospital rates were going down and deaths were going down, I'd say terrific. You deserve to be praised for testing, but they're all going up.
You know, they very rarely talk.
60,000 Americans are in hospital.
If you watch the
1,000
news
dying
or
a
read
day.
the papers, they usually talk about new cases, new cases, new cases.
I'm talking about death.
Well, you look at
going
death.
up.
Death is way down from where it was.
It's 1,000 a day. It was 2,500. It went down to 500. Now it's going up again.
Excuse me, where it was is much higher than where it is right now.
It went down, then it went up again.
But now it's going down again. It's going down in Arizona. It's going down in Florida.
Nationally,
it's going down in Texas. Take a look at this. These are the.
It seems like a comedy sketch, like with the calculated zoom-ins on the pieces of paper. You couldn't edit it in a more satirical way, but it's real.
Yes.
It's going down in Florida?
Yeah, it leveled out and it's going down. That's my report as of yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. So anyway, very, very bad. I mean, it's crazy what's going on. A couple other things. I came across this parody. It appears to be a parody account of me. This is the profile picture. This is the banner picture when I had dinner with Hassan Destiny Piker II, Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bennell II, and Melina Goranson. And a lot of the posts are like clips of me. Let's see what they are.
The David Pakman Show, giving Jews a bad name since 1984 and Hispanics.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's not good. And let's see here.
He in the deep end for so long before the current brings you close to the P, even if you're in the shallow. You can only.
Wow, that's from yesterday. Oh yeah, I was sent this meme. So what is this? This is Chad Pakman versus Virgin Destiny. Okay, so. Why, yes, we will be reviewing today's press briefing. Starts bright and early, does not block Destiny OOC, eats a singular strawberry he grew himself, responds to every sub and donor on 3 platforms. That's true. Let's talk about recent political events. Okay, Destiny starts an hour late. Is that true? Insults donors? Conservative video review, maybe opens league. Had his friend block Destiny. Allowed Hassan to dominate political content on Twitch, eats only Soylent and cereal. I don't know if any of this stuff is true, honestly, but it's interesting. I don't even know. I guess is this what we would call a parody account? Is this what the kids would call a parody account? That's weird, but certainly interesting nonetheless. And then, so that's this one. I also got this. So yesterday, let me see if I can zoom this out. Hold on a second. There we go. Yesterday, I was asked via YouTube Super Chat whether I eat mac and cheese with a fork or a spoon. And I said, obviously, I eat it with a fork. I use spoons for soups and desserts. And I guess that was controversial in some circles. And then now somebody photoshopped my face with a crazy hairstyle onto Trump's body, eating a bucket of KFC chicken. And yes, I am holding a knife and fork. I don't really need the knife for mac and cheese. But needless to say, I do use a fork for mac and cheese. So if you have any similar images or memes or anything you want to send, you can send them to me. David@davidpakman.com is the place to do it. What else? Trajectory for 1 million subscribers. We did get another day closer. So when we hit 900,000 subscribers on YouTube last week, I said my goal is 1 million by election day. We were originally targeting, it looked like we were on track for January 9. Thanks to your support, we are now on track for December 25th to hit 1 million. And we only need to push that up by 6 weeks in order to hit it by election day. So very much appreciate everybody who has been signing up. Let's look at a few super chats. I do have some clips from yesterday's live stream, or life stream, as some call it, with chess grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura, which I'll be publishing to my YouTube channel in total, but I'll get to that in a bit. Stuart Keating asks, do you think Wallace and John Swan are doing tough interviews because of Trump, because they think he will not be in office soon? Nothing lost, more to gain. It's certainly conceivable. Certainly conceivable. And again, they only look like they're playing hardball because everybody else plays softball. It's important to keep that in mind. In many other countries, every interview of a president would be this tough. And that's something important to keep in mind. Jen O'Fire says, David, your feed keeps cutting out. Everything's fine on my end, so it could be a YouTube thing, but everything's fine over here. Emmanuel Kant says, I'm still recovering from yesterday's plasma party. Yeah, me too. Bacon Lover says, YouTube is booting people from your stream. Well, we don't want that. Unknown Prodigy says, good job with the opposition. Way to move that king and pawn. Yeah, so here was a crucial moment from yesterday's stream with Hikaru Nakamura. This was actually a huge win in the battle of the churning, of the sautéing, of the baking of ideas. Take a listen to this.
Categories. Yeah, Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bennell II would be an interesting player in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like your politics and the way you explain things is a little bit better, honestly. Like,
really? Oh my God! Clip that! Jeez, holy shit! We've got to clip that.
Just saying.
That's shocking.
Okay, so as people can see, very, very funny stuff. I actually should see whether other people clipped.
You will be cheering for, right?
Oh my God! Hold on a second. Videos. I want to see clips that people did. How can I see user generated clips? Clips. Okay. And then I want 24 hours. Oh, I don't know that I'm actually in any of these. Well, let's see. Let's just see what somebody clipped from my appearance yesterday. Let's see.
Yeah, Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bennell.
Okay. That's the one I just played, obviously. Here's another one. Let's see what this one is.
And to look at it from that standpoint of like, if you're not good at chess, you're stupid.
All right. Well, this is not going as well as I thought. So we'll go back to the McEnany feed, because who knows what is going on. Let me say a huge thank you to Keep Rollin' Yo, who has supported over on Twitch. Brown Albino is a new Twitch Prime subscriber. Also, Noogie13 has subscribed with Prime. Now I'm getting messages that the audio and video are unsynced on YouTube. Something's going on with YouTube. I have no control over it. My feed is fine. The same feed is going to Twitch and Facebook. So if there's a problem over on YouTube, it is indeed because of something happening on YouTube. I have no control over it. Axis Audio says, hey, David, your stream isn't working for me. Okay. Well, let's see. Jerry Lou Rice says, it looks like from the comments that my screen and a few others are going black quickly after the stream loads. Okay. I don't think I can do anything about it. G says, hey, David, thank you for fighting the good fight against the Ministry of Truth. Charlie says, feed cutting out for me too. Have to keep refreshing. Paul Milbank says, David, it's cutting out for a lot of people. I don't know if people understand. I can't do anything about it. But the first thing you should do is hit F5 and refresh. That would be just step one in order to see if you can get resynced. Sometimes these brief feed issues resolve after refreshing. Haywood Jablome. Guys, I know the Bill O'Reilly thing. Actually, let's find that. That's a top clip. That's a top clip. Let me see here. Bill O'Reilly, Haywood Jablome, as Bill O'Reilly pronounces it. Oh God, that's just the best clip. It's a great reference, so I'm actually going to look for it. Bill O'Reilly, Haywood. I can't find it. Unfortunately, I'm unable to find it, but it's a truly classic clip. Anyway, the question is, Dave, do you acknowledge your immense privilege from receiving training from world-class chess players before your tournament? A bit unfair, huh? That's the entire, everybody gets training. I mean, everybody, that's the idea. The idea of the tournament is all the participants get trained by really great players. Thanks to a political puppy for subscribing for 8 months at tier 1. Says, I'm glad to hear you're doing things with the serfs soon. Yes, indeed. Adjective Pants says, hey, David, I know you said you're going electric for your next car. Have you decided what you're getting yet? Oh, my God, I already have it. And it is a widely kept trade secret. So I'm unable to say more about it. We are in the middle of a level 2 hype train as well, which I do want to remind people of. Edgar Garcia says nothing. Okay. Amr Nail says, hi from Austria. 2/3 of Americans oppose Trump. If he wins the election, then Democrats, progressives, and liberals have only themselves to blame. Please vote. Please vote. Stuart Keating says, have you been winning more chess games than before? No. In fact, the more training I get, the more chess games I lose. It's really embarrassing. But I'm losing more chess games than ever, which is crazy. Let me say thank you to Luis Manuel da Silva Medeiros Pereira. Wow, that is a mouthful. Who is new member number 1 today at joinpacman.com. Also, see one other thing here. Okay, no, that's working correctly. Perfect. Okay, good. Zesty African says, favorite political philosopher? I'm really loving Kant and Franz Fanon. May seem contradictory, LOL. I don't really have a favorite philosopher. I've certainly read Kant. I've read, Hobbes. I've read a lot, and favorite is not really a term that I would apply personally, from the standpoint of personal. Jen O'Fire says, hey all, if you're using mobile, try an internet browser, Google Chrome instead of the YouTube app. That's interesting. If people are all having a problem with the YouTube app, I'm viewing the feed on browser, desktop browser. So maybe that's why I'm not having a problem. Yesterday, we did achieve, for people reminding me, we did achieve a level 5 hype train yesterday. That is true. But it was not a record-setting one. The record hype train has been 620% level 5. I think yesterday we got to about 120%. But listen, forget about level 5. Let's just make it to level 3 before we go crazy. Jacob Ratner says, how do you convince people that COVID and the economy are connected? If people don't understand that, that has to be someone who's very cognitively compromised not to understand that. I tried to convince a friend we won't recover till we fix COVID, and he didn't buy it. Yeah, it sounds like your friend may be beyond reach. Per Tiran says F5 worked perfectly. Frankie G says it's not your fault, bro. It can be the weather if you're on the East Coast like me, so I don't know. Anubis Doe says we can file taxes online. Why not vote online? Not an unreasonable question. We have now reached a level 3 hype train as we wait for Kayleigh McEnany. I also want to say thanks to Leonard Areola, who is new member number 2 at joinpacman.com. I think we had about 60 new members during yesterday's live stream, which was crazy. Stuart Keating says apparently President... Okay, yeah, we're not doing it. Almost got me there. That reminds me actually of, hold on a second. If I was able to better pull up some of these clips, my stream would just be so much better. Hold on a second. Let me see. There is a really funny one. Man, I can't find it now. There's a particular clip. Oh, it's a local news. You know what? I'll just play the audio of it. You know what? I'm not even going to do it. It might actually be a little bit racist, so I'm going to skip it altogether. I just realized it's a bad direction to go down. Tim Ellis says, just refresh. I'm sure YouTube intentionally throttles stream quality, so you have to refresh and watch another ad. It's never happened before, so I don't know about that. Chris R says mobile doesn't work, but desktop works fine live, so maybe the YouTube problem is mobile. Ryan Anderson says, hey, David, are you familiar with Owen Jones, UK? Yeah, he follows me, but I don't really know much about him, to be perfectly frank. I know very little about him. Edgar Garcia says, enjoy the show. Did you see that Mexico announced that schools will stay closed and classes will be transmitted via over-the-air TV and radio? I did not see that. Tristan McCoppin says everyone seems to be quoting COVID-19 numbers all over, seemingly unaware that numbers are largely tampered with. What do you think? Yeah, I'm unclear on whether we can trust the numbers at this point. So since July 16th, I've been going forward by saying these numbers may not even be right. If they are right, here is what the assessment is, and they may not even be correct. Thank you to a bunch of people on Twitch. Cashfield has subscribed with Prime. Hampelman has subscribed with Prime. Fifi Boy has subscribed with Prime. Oak84 says, greetings from Sweden. Cases dropping tremendously over here. Sweden's having their fair share of problems when you look at that death rate, I should say. Stuart Keating says, loved the Coleman Hughes interview. Great work. Yeah, I got some positive feedback about the Coleman Hughes interview, and a lot of people who said they found it extremely boring. You know, we have a mix of stuff on the YouTube channel. We are very, very close to and have actually now reached a level 4 hype train, thanks to Zan's, the gift of a subscription by Political Puppy, Grantland, and Old Man Mar, all of whom have subscribed. And we are now in the middle of a level 4 hype train as Daniel Cardosa has become new member number 3 at joinpacman.com. Mike, okay, all right. Mike says, how many show shirts do you own? Not much rotation. I think I have a rotation of about 20 shirts for the show. Captain Aiko says, do Republicans secretly dislike Trump? Some do. Could the Republicans be allowing Trump to do more interviews as a way to sabotage? It's not Republicans that are allowing Trump to do interviews. It's Trump, you know, Trump's own staff can't control him, and he's doing whatever he wants. Thanks to Floydo59 for subscribing with Twitch Prime as we stand by waiting for a panicked press briefing from Kayleigh McEnany. If you were just joining, we anticipate that she will be somewhere between 10 and 30 minutes late, which tends to be the trend. And there is a potential chess stream tonight. I've been going back and forth with Alexandra Botez about when my next training is going to be. It may be tonight, it may not. We're still trying to figure it out. Thanks to Big Milk 13 for subscribing with Twitch Prime. People asking for memes. I already showed a couple earlier today. Let's see. I guess I will just show you one. Do I have anything else? No, the big one that I got was in response to my claim yesterday. My explanation that I eat mac and cheese with a fork. Somebody made this. It's kind of funny. You can send your memes to me, david@davidpacman.com, or post them to the David Pacman Show subreddit, and they may end up on a live stream. So those are good. The memes are definitely, I feel like as we're getting closer and closer to the election, it may just be a function of growing our following on Twitch, but the memes are accelerating for sure. Troy Baker asks, do you think the threat of ecological collapse should give us pause when planning kids? I think it's reasonable to think about that. I got a call a couple years ago from a so-called anti-natalist, and I think it's reasonable to be thinking about that, but you know, how far you take that depends on your perspective. I mean, listen, long term, unless we get to some other planet, the sun will expand and engulf the earth and everybody's dead. So you don't even need to think about ecological collapse if you really want to go to the full end of that sort of, you know, nihilism. But, you know, maybe by then we'll be off the planet. Anthony Malecki asks, chances Kushner goes to jail in the future? Very low. Stuart Keating says, if you want 1 million subs before the election, sell out and make a Why I Left the Left video. Go on PragerU. Get a show on Blase TV. Success. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a cheap way to dramatically accelerate my following, which is to have some political awakening where I find truth and see the light and denounce everything, right? We're not going to do that, okay? If I can't get to 1 million subscribers based on doing what I actually believe, wink, wink, then I'm not going to get to 1 million subscribers, and that's it. That's it. I'm churning ideas here. I'm French pressing ideas. I am, extracting ideas very powerfully like an espresso machine. I'm sautéing ideas and all of these other things. And they are going to be my ideas. I'm not going to do, we know about grifting. We know about grifting very powerfully. I'm hydraulically pressing ideas and, dremeling ideas and all of this stuff all the time. Okay. Clinky Winky. Oh, wait, no, I skipped one. Jackson says, I completely agree with your stance on mac and cheese with a fork, but I must object to eating desserts such as cakes or tiramisu with a spoon. Sad. Cake, I admit I sometimes will violate my spoon for dessert protocol. I have in the past eaten cake with a fork, but tiramisu, I go spoon. Spoon all the way. Big thank you to Diana Weingar and Peter Blair, who are new members 4 and 5 today at joinpacman.com. Thanks very much, guys. I appreciate that. We are standing by for Kayleigh McEnany, scheduled for 7 minutes ago and so far running late. A big appreciation to Dusidney for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Gyratory as well has subscribed with Prime. We have 3.5 minutes to complete a level 5 hype train, to bring it to full completion. 3.5 minutes. We are at 13% right now. Clinky Winky says, have you seen the Fox News Corona chart where the colors are inverted, like less impacted states were red, hard hit states are green? What are your thoughts? That's straight out of How to Lie with Statistics. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but it is interesting, and I plan to take a look at that. That's wild. Thanks to Professor Faith and Bakerful for subscribing on Twitch. Juan Castillo says, ¿Cómo está, David? Fue $1.76. LOL. I don't get it. Charlie says, looking pretty sharp today, David. Is that shirt from Seville Row? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't even know what that is, but sure. Funky Slurch says, I feel like America would have been invaded by America if it was in the Middle East in the name of democracy. Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. Absolutely, completely. Brad Lewers has subscribed on YouTube. Janelle says, what's going on with the YouTube stream? It keeps cutting off. Yeah, we are receiving very detailed reports that the YouTube mobile app is not working well. YouTube mobile browser and desktop browser are reportedly working perfectly. So something to think about. Dranoa has just gifted 5 community subscriptions and has exploded to the completion of a level 5 hype train. We are now at, where are we? We are now at, I've got an animation playing. 113% with 90 seconds to go. Our record is 620%. Is it possible? Is it possible? 200%. Crazy things are happening. Truth Seeker. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Israel McKenzie says, buy metal sports, you heathens. I don't even know what that means. Wilma Fistfit says, why don't you wear a sports coat anymore? You lack panache. I decided that at this point, independent media has really taken on an identity of its own. And I decided that the sports coat was almost out of sync with the vibe of the show. So I made the decision some months ago to drop the sports coat. I did. And I don't really need sports coats anymore because I don't go anywhere because of the virus. So at some point, maybe I'll get rid of them. I don't know. But I'm happy with the decision. Also, the rolled up sleeves is something I've adopted recently. And I think that I think it's a nice look. I think that it fits better with some of what we're doing. So I don't regret it for a minute. Truth Seeker 2020 says, hey, David, just saw a video of Aurora, Colorado police handcuffing and ground 4 African-American children, 16 and under, for a falsely suspected stolen car. Okay, I haven't seen that story, but I will check it out. We are approaching 300% of a level 5 hype train with just 10 seconds to go. I do want to say thanks to Remnant Psyche, Larry Eldritch, Krusty Sandwich, Hampleman for cheering 5,000 bits and getting us to 433%. of a level 5 hype train. We did it, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. Golfer Jack, David, please lean into the race to 1 million with Majority Report. It'll be good fun and will help you both, even if you're going to lose. Left is best. Okay. Trent Munsinger says, you're cracking me up, David. Thank you. I needed it today. Why are people talking about Majority Report whenever I talk about 1 million subscriptions? Like, are we close? Let's see. Majority Report. 909. Okay. And then where am I right now on subscriptions? Let's see. 911. Actually, we're only 100 from 912. If 100 people on YouTube can hit that subscribe button, we'll be at 912. Okay, so Sam and I are close. I didn't realize that it was so close. I sort of just focus on myself. But that is interesting that we are that close. I did not know that. Okay. Dan McCord says, David, is this press conference again another waste of time? Yes, but it's an opportunity for us to be together, so that's great. Unless they're giving new and useful info, they are worthless in my view. You know, I'm starting to suspect that this one could be canceled altogether because we're not even live in the room yet, and Trump has an event scheduled for 12:45, and often Kayleigh is at those events, so I would not be totally shocked if there was a cancellation. Let's see if I got any messages about that. No. So we'll see. Juan Castillo says Kennedy for Senate. Diane Marzani says, new to the Twitch deal, don't know how to support you in the hype train. Guess I'm showing my age. LOL. Well, you're supporting on YouTube, Diane. That's much appreciated. Oh, did Kayleigh cancel? Is that true? I see one person saying it was canceled. Axios interview I'm discussing on the broadcast show today. So I played a clip earlier, but I don't want to do the entire segment over again because I am doing it later. It's live in the room with other channels. Oh, okay. Let me pull that up. Maybe Now This is in the room. Let's see. Now This press briefing. Okay. Ah, yes, they are live in the room. Beautiful. Let's take a look. Whoa, the room is empty. That is never a good sign. But we'll keep an eye on that. Israel McKenzie says autocorrect doesn't like metal sporks. Okay. Casey Bates says real DP here. YouTube app cuts out every 10 seconds. Okay. Mike Henderson says Admiral Giroir explained why the numbers are down in the South. He said in the South, they reduced the testing by using selective testing. This was on Meet the Press. I will look for that. Robert Down says, I'm trying to imagine mac and cheese that could make sense to eat with a spoon, and it's making me sad that anyone thinks that's how it should be. Yeah, you're basically talking about pasta soup. If mac and cheese has to be eaten with a spoon, you're talking about pasta soup, essentially. That's a different dish. Cecilia Geresso says, annoyed by the fact that the so-called leader of the free world also impact my life in Denmark, and I have no say in the election. Scary. I feel for you. Robert Mifflin says Beirut has been attacked. Let's look that up. Beirut. Massive explosion rocks Beirut. Let's see what's going on. At the port. Okay, it's still very early. I don't think we could reasonably add anything to what's going on right now. So it sounds bad, and I don't like hearing that, but we're going to give that a little bit of time. Thanks to Robert Bates Roschin, who's new member number 6 today at joinpacman.com. Brendan Martin is new member number 7 today. Jason Gahan is number 8 today. And I think that gets us caught up with members at joinpacman.com. Captain Crunch says, hey, David, if Biden's VP came down to Susan Rice or Kamala, who would you prefer and why? That's a good question. I mean, I think Kamala is problematic because of her role as Attorney General in California. There at one point, black voters actually preferred Warren to Kamala. Susan Rice, I don't know enough about Susan Rice to say, but there's definitely question marks around Kamala Harris. If it's Warren, Kamala, or Susan Rice, obviously I'm voting for Joe Biden. No doubt about that. But it's a fair question. Blake Feely says, Aurora, Colorado. Video of the children being arrested and held at gunpoint is horrifying. It sounds it. I'm going to look for that. Christopher Gilliam says, do your next broadcast in boxers and a woof beater, David. That's what the people want. Lars Testerman says, Deepak looking like a snack. Okay. Beetle Greg says, David for president. I am a foreigner, so I cannot be a president here. And Coolie Man says, how many presidents does it take to screw a light bulb? Fair question. Fair question. I also wonder why the lighting has to be changed so regularly. Is it that there's the Trump lighting and the Kayleigh lighting? Is that maybe the idea? But you'd think that they'd have it all set up in a way where they can just flip a switch rather than have to physically move lights every time. It's kind of weird. Lou Bidup says, would you dance on Cameo if a powerful tip was offered? I don't know. That doesn't sound that fun. I am on Cameo, and I've gotten... How many Cameo videos have I done? Let me see here. I get some pretty funny requests on Cameo. Every once in a while, I do have to reject something because it's just not good. I've done... Okay, so a little over 50 requests on Cameo I've done. I don't know. Listen, here's what I say. Send the request, and then I'll evaluate it. Thanks to Alex Endicott for signing up at the soy boy level. Waller is me says, went to my third Black Lives Matter protest in La Mesa, California. Police in full riot gear with batons out. Trumpists antagonizing us. One guy lowered his shoulder into me. Another one got arrested. Surreal. Vigilante groups claim credit for peace. Right. The vegan villainess says DeSantis in Florida stopped testing last Wednesday, way ahead of the storm. They are already saying that cases are going down without mentioning this. Yeah, someone mentioned that earlier. I'm going to research that. If true, that is despicable. Despite myself has signed up at the soy boy level. Mark Chu says, what cabinet position would you like to see Andrew Yang take in Biden's administration? I have no idea. I don't know that Andrew Yang is going to be in Joe Biden's cabinet, but it is certainly an interesting idea nonetheless. Thanks to Jericho, who has subscribed over on Twitch. We are just 3 Twitch subscribers from 1,000, which is a beautiful round number. Jericho says, love your coverage of these press conferences. Thanks, Jericho. You are subscriber 997 over on Twitch. Also, thank you to Havoc Dog, who was subscriber 996. And I think I'm caught up from the standpoint of Twitch. You have not missed anything. You might be wondering, this was supposed to start 20 minutes ago. How is it that we're not seeing anything yet? It's because they must be running historically late. And Donald Trump has an event. He's having lunch at 12:45. And typically Kayleigh would be done by that point. So I don't know what's going on. But as usual, I am just as much subject to the whims of the lateness of Kayleigh McEnany as we all are. And looks like we've got a couple more reporters in the room, but it is very, very slow what is happening today. Robert Fancy Pants Motorcycle McGee sends 100 Argentinian peso super chat saying, hey, David, greetings from Buenos Aires. Remember, that's where I was born. Did you enjoy Trump's interview with Axios? Yes, and we have like a 20-minute clip. It's like the Zapruder film, publishing at 4 p.m. today. Thanks to G-Sound for gifting 3 subscriptions, and thanks to Jimmy the Rabbit, as well as Aquam Lune and Randy Sargent, as well as Izbiz, we have now surpassed 1,000 subscribers on Twitch. We are back to over 1,000. We were over 1,000 for a while. And then we were below, and then now we're back, which is great. Okay. Did I have other clips? I do have some other clips I could play for you. Yeah. By the way, if you missed it before, let me play this. If you're just joining us, this is one of my new favorite clips. This is Donald Trump unable to pronounce Yosemite. It rivals Plasma. Listen to this. This is just wild.
When they gaze upon Yosemite towering.
It sounds almost like a Mormon saint or something like that. Yosemite.
When they gaze upon Yosemite
this the president, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, really, how is this the president? Brian Holiday says, what will we say 30 years from now about 2020 and the Trump presidency? Anyone pretending to know is just guessing. It is very difficult to know how history will see any of what's going on right now. Christian Gaffield says, nice job on catching Michael Oxsmall's name, David. Yes. Someone did get me last week with Michael Oxhard, if you understand. But I've caught a few this week. Dan McCord says, if Elizabeth Warren is not selected for VP, where could you see her serving with a Biden presidency and why? I would be interested in Elizabeth Warren as Treasury Secretary. I think that would be very interesting. Commerce Secretary. There's a lot of positions that would be interesting for Elizabeth Warren for sure. What else? I mean, listen, she would be better as Secretary of Housing than Ben Carson, right? At least she's worked in the space that kind of relates to that rather than just being a neurosurgeon, you know? I think there's a lot of ideas for where Elizabeth Warren could do very, very well. Christopher Gilliam says she's busy updating her folder of talking points. Always love your perspective, David. Yeah, I mean, my feeling is this may be later than ever. This may be the latest ever that we will see a press briefing. Thanks to anonymous gifter who has gifted a subscription to Hillary Clinton. Beautiful. I'm sure Hillary will appreciate that. Very much so. People asking if Trump's doing a 5 p.m. presser today. It is not yet on his calendar. The only things on Trump's calendar were a signing ceremony at 10:30 a.m., lunch with Pompeo at 12:45, and then 2 p.m. intelligence briefing. So, we will see. We will see. Unknown Prodigy says, do you know Amanda Hugginkiss? I do. I know Ben Dover as well. Ben and Amanda are great people. They went to my school, actually. Really, really nice. Addison Adsit Metz says, hey, David, keep up the good work. I think Kamala should be Attorney General. Warren should be Treasury Secretary. Kamala was a disastrous Attorney General in California. I don't know why you would make her Attorney General of the United States. That, to me, is dubious. Very, very dubious. I don't know what people in the chat think, but that seems like a bad idea. People seem to be aware. Yeah, okay, people seem to agree. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, good. All right, reporters are starting to file in now, which is a good thing. I would like to take just 30 seconds to make a hard sell membership pitch to you. I've been reducing these and people seem to be responding. We do have this program where we have employees, we contribute to health insurance for employees. We're starting up a retirement plan. We offer good work conditions and all of this stuff. Everything we do, podcast, TV show, radio shows, streams, blah, 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 all that stuff, funded by membership on my website, joinpacman.com. The website has recently been upgraded to be able to handle all the traffic you can throw at it, which we needed to do. And if you at all have any interest in supporting what I do, you can sign up at joinpacman.com. Now, if you hate me, if you're an anti-Semite, if you don't like Hispanic people, if you ever use the word libtard, this probably is not the thing for you to support, and that's fine. But if you do appreciate the work that we do, and you have an extra $1.80 or $2 a month, you can go to joinpacman.com. That coupon code above my head, 2020 now, it just chops. It's just like chop it. 66% off of the price, $2 a month, or if you pay for the entire year, it's $1.83. This is US dollars, by the way. And do the prices ever go up? The answer is, of course, they do not. The price never goes up. This is not some late night TV, low introductory price, which then balloons in a month. Once you get the low price, it is yours for as long as you want to keep it. We do have a handful of members who have been members for 10 years, if you can imagine that. I was in preschool when these folks signed up, and it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. So consider getting yourself a membership, and I will thank you if you do. One such example is Nick Childress, who just signed up and is new member number 9 today. Nick, thank you so much for your support. Nick taking advantage of the 2020 Now coupon code. I love it. I just absolutely love it. Okay, other super chats coming in. Where did I leave off? Gregory Seco says, celebrated Obama's birthday by voting in my state's primary. Very nice. Yeah, it is Obama's birthday today. Drew Goo says, you should do a media share stream. I don't even know what that means. What, can somebody explain to me what a media share stream is? Is that just where I play clips and comment on them? Anybody know? Nobody knows? Okay. Media share? Yes. You guys share clips. Okay, well, it seems straightforward. It's kind of what we're doing right now, right? I mean, we're watching video. Unknown Prodigy says, seriously, do you think you have a chance to win PogChamps? I think you are going to win. I don't think so. I mean, listen, the more training I get, I've now had lessons with International Master Levy Rosman, International Master Eric Rosen. I don't know what Alex Botez's title is. Is she a women's FIDE master? Alex Botez. And Giga Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura. I'm losing more games than ever. So I don't know. I really don't know. Jonas Call says, hey, David, hope you, the team, and the family are well. Many hugs from Tallinn. Love it. I had such a great time in Tallinn. Whoop, where did that go? Let me pull up a map, actually. Let me see here. Maps. Tallinn was, I actually had some David Pakman Show viewers run into me in Tallinn, Estonia, which was amazing. Let me pull up a map and see if I can figure out where that was. I was in Tallinn last, I don't even know when it was. It was a little while ago. So let's see here. This is the center of Tallinn. We stayed somewhere right around this area, sort of right around here. And there, oh, wait, no. I went to this. This was a great restaurant right here. Rataskavu 16. Tremendous restaurant in Tallinn. And I think I stayed right around this corner here. I remember there was a little corner store here. Yep, here it is. And some great views. Now, there was this kind of Brooklyn-like area, which I think was like over here. Maybe it's this. Maybe not. In any case, it was like a food stall area, and some American viewers who were traveling through Europe came up and said hello, and it was great. It was great. None of this is sponsored. These are just places I like. Oh, okay. Cameo requests are coming in. I'm going to mute my phone for the time being. Danny Thompson says, I want to see a black woman as education secretary so we can concentrate on getting rid of whitewashed textbooks. That's an interesting idea. Richard Laram has subscribed at the soy boy level. Chad Lightning says, top 3 favorite bands or artists right now. Oh, I listen to so much music, I couldn't possibly name 3. But I'm listening to a lot of Argentinian music. Coolie Man says there's footage of the Beirut explosion and it is shocking by its scale. It was 20 minutes ago. I plan to look at it after the stream. I just don't want to pull up any unpredictable stuff on stream. Shakuseki says, Dear David, have you had to banhammer any anti-Yosemites today? Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, if you don't know the reference, this is the president, folks.
When they gaze upon Yosemites, towering sequoias.
Yosemites. Nothing better than that. Looks like we are getting close to the start of this press briefing. I have some beautiful and lovely people to thank. Patrick Evans is new member number 10 today on my website. Cameron Johnson is new member number 11. Adam Dunnels is new member number 12. Anthony Spurgeon is new member number 13. Jesse Morales is number 14. Also can't forget Nicholas Bova, who is new member number 15 today. Lastly, John Capazzoli is new member number 16. Oh, what am I talking about? Not lastly. Matt Flickinger is number 17. Juan Bojorquez is number 18. Elijah Kelly is number 19. Wow, that bar is filling up. Christian Siswick is new member number 20. And Jake Carter is new member number 21. Now I am caught up. Am I? Yes, I am caught up. Also, thanks over on Twitch to Frosty Snowman, Nato Jenkins, as well as Anonymous Gifter, who has gifted a subscription to Donald Trump's tiny hands. Also, big thank you to Agent B64. Agent B64. Let's see. Watching Naked asks whether I would ever go vegan. I don't see myself going vegan. No. Continued complaints about the YouTube live stream crashing. Yeah, I can't control it. It's a YouTube problem. It's not on my end. Addison Adsits Metz says, I guess Kamala does suck. Ike Jew says, has subscribed as a soy boy. Whoops, I missed a few there. Tate Dalzell says, if the U.S. continues its descent into idiocracy, where would emigrate to if you had a choice and weren't a refugee that wasn't given that agency? I have a clip I published on Friday about that. The places I could go are Argentina and Israel, but I'm still working on getting my Polish citizenship so that I could have an EU passport. Eduardo Lino Costa says, have you ever considered a live audience show? Yes. Kind of moot now. In fact, I was 60% of the way to a national tour along with a prominent female progressive host where we were going to do 10 or 12 live in-person events around the country with audiences of about 300 to 400 at each event. And of course, then coronavirus. Josefa Silva says, thoughts on the Obama's views on young voters not being informed enough on government dealings and inner working. I have not seen that said. I don't know exactly what he said, so I would not be able to comment offhand. Captain Crunch says, correct me if I'm wrong, David, but I believe Trump meant to say, yo, Semites, l'chaim. Maybe that's what, let me see. Is that what Trump meant to say?
When they gaze upon Yosemites,
yeah, maybe that's what Trump meant. That's certainly possible. Norwegian Trad Archer says, you are way off with your Sond versus picture. Yes, there's a YouTube issue. Please refresh. We have no control over it. Refreshing seems to mostly fix it. And if it happens again, you got to fix it again. Thank you to Spudnik for both subscribing and gifting 5 subscriptions. It feels like we're getting close to the start of this press briefing. Something weird is going on, though. Now, there's actually a couple issues with the YouTube feed, which are odd, certainly, which I'm going to try to fix. Okay, I think we just fixed a few different elements. Extreme Tuber says, holy crap, for them to be this late, they must be in super damage control mode. Robert Clobber, let me see if the White House feed is even live yet. Still not live. This usually goes live shortly beforehand, so that's weird. Robert Clobber says, hope I'm not too late to the party with this, but man, that Axios Trump interview is massively concerning. Yeah, I've got a 20-minute clip with detailed, I analyzed it like the Zapruder film, and we're going to publish that clip in a couple of hours. Cajun Girl says, serious question, what is the Great American Outdoor Act? I have no idea. Phonique II, I'm not anti-Semite, but I am anti-Yosemite. That's fair. Adam Dunnell says, hey, David, I've been a fan since 14, just signed up with the coupon code. Love it. Yeah, a few other people who just used the coupon code to sign up. Uriel Caresti is number 22. Dan Sylvester is new member number 23. Adley Teague is new member number 24. Lori Moore is new member 25. Let's go for 50, my friends. Why not? Cindy Pfeiffer is new member number 26. I could have sworn Cindy signed up yesterday. Oh, no, Cindy canceled. Oh, my God. I've got to go back to 25. How embarrassing. Oh, boy. Brian Boyack is actually number 26 today. Joseph Barter, Stephen Scales, Estrella Rios, and Douglas Steckel are numbers 27, 28, 29, and 30. Steckel reminds me of that infamous Seinfeld episode where I believe it's Bryan Cranston in a little-known role converts to Judaism and makes Jewish jokes and uses vernacular, like asking his dental assistant for a shtickle of fluoride. That's a classic episode. Nancy Lindsay and Sheila Brown are new members number 31 and 32. And I think that gets me where I need to be, which is completely caught up. Yeah, the anti-dentite Seinfeld episode, that entire arc is, it's genius. It's absolute, complete genius. Okay, Ms. Smith says, thanks for keeping us sane. Hello from the UK. Hello, love the UK. Alex Endicott says, odds that they called this conference to whine about Democrats? Very likely, very, very likely. Jorgen Ask says, love your show. Time to get that 5-year-old out of the White House. You should play against Magnus Carlsen. Greetings from Norway. I think if I took 2 more lessons with Hikaru, I could probably hold my own against Magnus. Yeah. Just kidding. I'm not an idiot. Roy M. has subscribed at the soy boy level. Where'd that go? There it is. Miguel Palacios says, Soda Stereo or Enanitos Verdes? I'm more of a Soda Stereo guy myself. Addison Adsit Met says, hey, David, Biden actually has some good policy ideas. Yeah, I've covered them. But mainstream media usually only focuses on superficial policy debates. Does this hurt Biden? Yeah, I've looked at Biden's climate plan, Biden's tax plan, Biden's green energy plan, and they are reasonable plans. They very much so. Joe Rogan's left testicle has subscribed with Twitch Prime. Cam Reich has subscribed as well with the message, YouTube stream not working. Twitch is where it's at today. Sam Karim says, why does Trump brag about the early China travel ban? Shouldn't that show how badly he's botched everything even after doing the ban early? Absolutely. Very good point. Eraser says, you would great Polish citizen. Did you visit Poland? No, I've not visited Poland, but because my grandfather was born in Poland and fled before World War II, I qualify for Polish citizenship if I can find his birth certificate. And the problem we're having, and maybe there's someone either in Poland or Belarus who could help me with this. The part of Poland my grandfather was born in is now Belarus. And there are not diplomatic relations between Poland and Belarus. So when I've talked to lawyers in Poland who can assist with these citizenship procedures, they say, we can't really do anything with Belarus. You'd have to figure out if you can find the birth certificate in Belarus. So if anybody knows of an agency in Belarus that specializes in finding documents in the areas that were Poland 50 years ago or longer, then let me know. Yeah, and by the way, I'm not looking to go live in Poland, but having an EU passport would be very, very valuable right now. Thanks to Brian the Lady for signing up with Twitch Prime. Cynical Insomniac has signed up and says, honestly cannot watch this dribble without your humor and interjections. Thank you. Thank you. I wouldn't be doing it if you weren't here. What else do we have going on? Tony Spurgeon says, why did you call this panicked? It's just a meme now. Like each day, I just will use different adjectives to describe these events. Christian Gaffield says, Elizabeth Warren for education secretary. She started out as a teacher. Listen, Warren would be a reasonable treasury secretary, education secretary, commerce secretary. It's a long list. It's a long list. AJC 21086 as well as Carol Ann Smith have grabbed YouTube memberships. Brett Cantor says explosion in Lebanon might be the cause of the delay. Actually, that could be. Lance Powers, Raul Martinez have signed up. Tanner Stark, he says, opinion on Philip McCrevis sending word. I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. Jake Feldman says, David, how have you not pulled out all that immaculate hair? Thanks for being here in this hell pit of history. Yeah, I don't know. It's not good. It's not good. My hair does seem to be more under control lately, though. Strangely. Whoa, actually, this is weird. Oh my God. That's weird. I could be an All-American Rejects with this band, with this hair, right? Anyway, we'll get it back. Oh my God, now it's out of control. All right, well, we are now thinking this is going to start pretty soon. Big thank you to Linda Knapp, who's new member number 33 today at joinpacman.com. Also, Cindy Pfeiffer is back. Cindy didn't cancel. She upgraded her membership. I love it. Thank you, Cindy. Lauren Kimball is new member number 35. Lori Shinsato is new member number 36. Jody Saint Amour is number 37. Stefan Zonik De, I don't even know if I got that right, is number 38. And Kathy Campbell is number 39. And I don't want to forget about Sebastian Guri and Lance Powers, who are numbers 40 and 41. Wow. That website can barely take the heat. The camera now shaking, and I believe we are very, very close to the start of this press briefing. Whoa. These are some strange angles. I'm going to mention this just once. We are in a race to 1 million subscribers on our YouTube channel. There's 7,200 people watching right now. Please hit that subscribe button if you are not yet subscribed. We have just reached 912,000, putting us only 88,000 away from 1 million. 88,000 away. It's free. It is completely and totally free. And very much appreciated. Let's see if the White House feed has gone live. It has. Okay, good. So let's mute here. Beautiful. This is our preferred stream. And we have some live sound going, so it should be starting very, very soon. Stranger Danger says, hi, David. It's me, Michael, a stranger. Okay. Christian Hernandez says, are you still going to try a Spanish Pac-Man show? No, probably not. We decided it just doesn't make sense. I'm too busy as it is. I need to reduce my workload by about 30%. So at this point, I'm not going to add new things. Thank you to Clem Nim and Jean O'Fire for subscribing and upgrading on YouTube. B. Crow says, get a haircut, you freaking hippie. Kurt Wells says, the snack food content the other day was delightful. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. I do have a picture on my Instagram of a bunch of Argentinian foods that have been purchased and made for me. Oh, on Pampa Direct. I see what you're saying. Let's see here. Okay, Hourglass 420 has signed up. Anthony Sanchez says, thank you, David, for all that you do. Paula Chaikin has subscribed at the soy boy level. Jackson says, why did Republicans politicize masks and hydroxy? Seems like a losing strategy. If Trump crushed Corona, he sails into re-election. I've said that since day one. Absolutely. Thanks to Mel for upgrading the membership. Felipe Segura sends a super chat. Brian Fleming says, our country is going downhill fast, and all I have left is sarcasm. Keep fighting the good fight. What do you think about a postponed election? I do not believe the election is getting postponed. Period. L. McVicar says, YouTube feed is junk. Please don't make me watch Now News. All right. I want to say thanks to Dank Vader. Oh my God, a superhero. Dank Vader has subscribed and is number 42 today. Also a big thank you to, wait a second. I want to make sure I use this person's not real name because they want to use a handle. Actually, I'll wait on that. Yeah, we're going to wait on that. Okay. And thanks to Christy for signing up on YouTube at the Soy Boy level. Over on Twitch, Grievous Quintuple 11 has grabbed a Twitch Prime subscription. Stapleface 0, Jeffrey is Steven, and Tashi Jane have subscribed on Twitch. What are we expecting today in terms of how long Kayleigh will speak before going to questions? Is it going to be 45 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, a full 5 minutes? What do people think? She's been going very quickly to questions recently. 69 seconds. Yes, that's very, very clever. Yeah, I think it's going to be a couple minutes. I don't think it'll be more than that. There's very limited material recently. 30 seconds. 2 minutes because of Beirut. That's fair. She may have more to say because of what's going on in Beirut. That could be. Addison Adsit Metz says, everyone on the left needs to watch your segment on useless, irrelevant infighting on the left. It is brilliant, and we must all come together. Thank you. User says, Belarus specialist, bald and bankrupt, YouTube. I've seen that channel before. Anthony Gonzalez has signed up on YouTube. So has Chris Fitzgerald, which I very much appreciate it. Gage X Bro has subscribed on Twitch. Okay, now people are saying that there may actually be a formal delay. It's like it's already been 45 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Does anybody? I don't know that they've ever been this late. This is very, very late. Felipe Segura says, where is Gary Johnson's votes going this election? He took a bunch of votes last election. I think it'll be split between Trump and Biden. Tucker Nixon says, thanks, David, for all your great knowledge. Thank you. We are delayed. People claiming there is a delay. Yeah, I know people are just messing with me. I'm not sure. It's completely reasonable that there's a delay, and it's conceivable that it's because of what's happening in Beirut. And if that's the case, this may be canceled altogether. I guess now that it's been a little longer, let's see what is being reported currently from Beirut. We will pull up an article. Lebanese capital rocked by huge explosion. Lebanese hospitals told to prepare for casualties. Lebanon's health minister Hamad Hassan has ordered all hospitals to prepare to receive those injured in a major blast in Beirut. Explosion has caused a large number of injuries. Oh my God. Lebanese authorities say an explosion near Beirut's port on Tuesday evening has left a large number of people injured. The explosion caused massive damage to the surrounding area, sent a huge cloud of red smoke over the city. Lebanon state-run NNA reports that a major fire broke out near Beirut port and firefighting teams have rushed to the scene to put out the fire. The Lebanese Red Cross is calling on medics to mobilize immediately and report to their respective centers to help deal with the massive explosion that rocked Beirut port on Tuesday evening. The apartment shook horizontally. Wow. Homes up to 10 kilometers away were damaged, according to witnesses. One Beirut resident several kilometers away said her windows were shattered by the explosion. Wow. Huge explosion in Lebanon's capital, Beirut, blew out the windows of the CNN bureau. Never felt anything like it. I've been around the block and seen pretty large explosions. This was bigger. As far as I can tell, there was just one absolutely massive explosion, which caused all of this damage in the capital. Fire broke out in a warehouse used for storing firecrackers. Oh, so we still don't know about the cause. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we just want to be careful since we don't yet know. Wow, this is crazy how long it's taken. They still don't know the cause. Although others are saying it was a terrorist attack. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think we have to wait. Yep, I don't know. I mean, it's, anytime that there's something happening live, we want to be careful. We know there was an explosion. That's what we know so far. Yeah, I'm not comfortable saying it was a terrorist attack at this point. Okay. Other super chats coming in. Daniel Cardoso says, hey, David, say hi to my brother, David, listening from Weslaco, Texas. Will Biden win Texas? Biden will not win Texas. He will not win Texas. Ruben Gonzalez says, hey, David, thoughts on Senate Republican liability protection amendment and stimulus? It's disgusting and vile. And we talked about it extensively on the bonus show. Was it earlier this week or late last week? Yeah, it's vile. Dylan Clutter says, where is our garden tour? You should see my cukes and zooks. I now have multiple cukes that are very, very quickly growing. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy in about 2 weeks. Tyler wants to know who I think Biden should pick as his VP. So on politics, I think it should be Warren. She's the most progressive of the female final four, so to speak, that are being considered. And I've explained the logic of it before. Not everybody agrees with me, and that's fine. Lee Buddy says, odd question, but what do you think of the character of this press secretary? I personally find her really pretentious. Oh, yeah, I find her personality disgusting. James Nicholson says, Jesus, Beirut looked like a small nuke going off. Yeah, we are still learning about what happened in Beirut. We just don't know. We don't have an explanation yet. We don't have the full scope of it yet. And I know a lot of things are being alleged. If Toast Boy says, do I want you to send me safe video of the explosion? Yeah, if you want to email it to me through the website contact form, let me know when you've done it. I can pull it up and then we can take a look together, I think would be the way to do it. We are still standing by for a press briefing, which has now been delayed 51 minutes. 51 minutes. Presumably because of what's going on in Beirut. But we don't know. We don't know for sure. Let's see. I'm getting safe video sent to me, I am told. Christina says, David, what is your take on Dr. Barbett's resignation from the health department due to a clash with Mayor de Blasio? I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about New York City level stuff to that degree. So I would not be able to comment on that. There was a big explosion in Beirut at a fireworks factory for people who are just joining us. We still do not know the cause, but I am standing by for some safe video. Thanks to Ruben Gonzalez for grabbing a Soy Boy level membership on YouTube. Safe explosion video. Okay, I'm going to first look at this myself just to see if it's safe. Oh my God, this looks like it couldn't possibly be real. Oh my God. I'm not saying it's not real. Is that actually it? Oh my God. Let me just audit this for a second before I put it up on screen. It actually does look like it's just a bunch of fireworks going off. Oh my God, though. This is insane. It's the same. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this. I've never seen anything like this. Take a look at this video.
What? 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 What, bro?
It looks fake. Where's that video?
Hey, we leave all of our anger in this room.
Oh my God. Okay, something just started playing from the wrong place. Okay, I have a video from another angle. This is truly insane. So you can see firecrackers apparently going off. Oh my God. It looks like movie effects. Now, people in the chat are saying that the color of the smoke is indicative of what would mostly be, which is caused by firecrackers exploding. I have never seen anything like this. That is absolutely unbelievable. Okay, 20 people now have sent me video. I think we understand it. That is absolutely nuts. I am not ready to say anything about the cause, but that does seem, it does not even look real. I'm at a loss for words. It does not even look real. It is unbelievable. Okay. Thanks to Alex Eldridge, William Gibbs, Matthew Klingensmith for signing up on YouTube, as well as Ruben Gonzalez, although I think I already thanked Ruben. That is some of the most insane video that I have ever seen. Let's just look at this one more time because it is so crazy. So the firecrackers seem to be going off. And then the huge explosion happens. And so right now, this building looks okay right now, right? Seconds later, that building looks like it's completely destroyed. It's blocks away. Unbelievable. It looks like what you think of as a nuclear explosion, although, you know, it doesn't appear to be, obviously. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we have no idea on death toll or anything right now. And I know it's real. I'm saying it almost looks fake, but it is not actually fake. It's real. It's insane. Jerry Lou Rice says explosion looked normal. I was in the army. First white cloud is a supersonic shockwave like a jet. Black cloud is from carbon-based smoke. Darwin Harrell says, I keep getting ads for Epoch Times. Do you have any thoughts on them? Right-wing bomb throwers, and of course we have no control over the ads that appear on YouTube. Death toll, I mean, it has to be high, right? How can you have an explosion this big and the death toll is not high? I mean, where was that? I mean, look at that. It's just unbelievable, unbelievably tragic. And we'll see what other information we are able to find. Thousands dead, some people are saying. I don't know. Bodies near the blast on videos. Yeah, I'm not going to play that stuff, but I would not doubt it. I would not doubt it. Unbelievable. Wow. Thanks to Flodies Magodies for subscribing with Prime. Also, DJ Snipes has subscribed. We are now almost a full hour late for this press briefing. Will it ever start? Does anybody have any official word as to whether it's been delayed? It was scheduled for noon Eastern time. We are 57 minutes beyond that. Reporters have been sitting in the room for a very long time at this point. Justin T has subscribed over on YouTube. Brand X and Typhoid Games, as well as Hot Yogurt, have subscribed on Twitch. Darwin Harrell says, here's another tip for saying my name correctly on the first go. Okay, thanks. Thanks to Lickniep for gifting 5 subscriptions on Twitch as well. Yeah, I mean, it's extraordinarily disrespectful to all of these reporters. We know that this administration doesn't actually respect the press, so it's not altogether surprising that that's what they're doing. But it is extraordinarily disrespectful. Let me say a huge thank you to Kat Tomzak, who's new member number 43 today on my website, joinpacman.com. Also, Glenn Banish and Derek Flores have gotten us to 45 new members today. We do have a very ambitious target of 50, but we're almost there. We are very, very close as we stand by for Kayleigh McEnany, who is now almost an hour late. Almost an hour late. Truly unbelievable. If you're just joining us, I'm being very careful about what video I play, but there has been a gigantic explosion of what appears to be a fireworks factory in Beirut. Take a look at the video. It is shocking. Absolutely insane. Blocks away, kilometers away, reportedly, people have been injured. Kilometers away, if you can imagine that. Okay. People are talking about whether I like Rage Against the Machine. Yeah, I like Rage Against the Machine. Yeah. Mike B. Pyro says, what do you think about Trump's kids letting him fail to get control of his money? I don't know anything about that. Dan says, hey, David, I had a question about your sponsor, Blue Chew. Could you, in great detail, explain your experiences before and after using the product? Thank you. I have not used the product, I admit, and I don't claim to have used the product. Very important, but were I a user of the product, I would tell you. Nothing to be ashamed about, but I have not tried it. Mario Ramos has signed up at the soy boy level. Megan Curran says it must take so much restraint for the reporters at the briefing to remain calm. Kudos to them for not losing their cool. Lies and delays galore. We are now a full hour late for this press briefing. A full hour. They have never been this late. I think the previous record was about 45 or 50 minutes. They are now a full hour late. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I do want to say thanks to Thomas Ganter, who is new member number 46 today at joinpacman.com. Thanks, Thomas. I appreciate that. And looks like reporters are trying to communicate with each other here, maybe determine how long it might be until this starts. It's really anyone's guess. I mean, they're 61 minutes late at this point. And let's see what it is that they're trying to explore here. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. People are still kind of milling around. Let's see if we have any different angles. It looks like the camera people are getting in place, so that's sort of a good sign. Fox News hasn't even started their stream yet, which is not a good sign. That's very much not a good sign. Oh, okay, this is a technical person helping this particular reporter. Looks like with the camera being held up, maybe it's going to be happening very soon. Can you? I mean, it's just an hour late. An hour late. Thanks to Clay H20 for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Also, thanks to Tomorrow's Trials for subscribing on Twitch. Damian McDermott says, Blue Chew is awesome. There you go. Great. They've been a great sponsor. We actually, I mean, listen, they're not going to keep advertising with us if they're not getting any sales. So what can you do? Lorna Morgan says there is video on BBC News website. The devastation is awful. Yeah, we've played a couple videos now. I've not seen anything like this recently. Confirmed not fireworks, David Packman. I've not seen that. Let's see. Massive explosion, shatters windows. I'm still not seeing anything official about what it is, so I'm going to reserve judgment. I don't see any advantage to speculating at this point in time. Tommy Arredondo says, what's the main thing Biden could do to get some of Trump supporters that used to be Obama supporters? Just being, I don't think he has to do that much. I think he's going to get most of them by virtue of being Obama's VP. Stone the Forbidden says, are these delays a deliberate flex on reporters? Your guess is as good as mine. Lorna Morgan has also subscribed on YouTube at the Soy Boy level. And K-Ray, as well as Circle Hair Guy, have subscribed over on Twitch. If you were just joining us, this is an hour late now, 63 minutes late for the press briefing. There has been a major explosion in Beirut, Lebanon, and we are just now learning. Let's refresh this and see if there's any more information. Footage shows blast shaking Beirut. Footage shared on social media captured the explosion. One video filmed from a nearby boat appears to show a white pall of smoke rising over the city. Seconds later, a red plume of smoke can be seen shooting into the sky, followed by a massive explosion. Yeah, this was the Instagram video we played. Unbelievable. And then there's the red plume. Truly shocking. Truly shocking. And then on a much lighter note, much lighter note, Donald Trump can't say Yosemite.
When they gaze upon Yosemites, towering sequoias.
Yeah, Yoseminites. So things going bad at the massive scale and things going bad at the micro scale. Let's see here. Mark Anthony says, keep it up. Mike Greco says, what's Lewis up to these days? Lewis, what is Lewis doing? He's hit by the virus right now. His work is closed, interestingly enough. Matt Clarick says, Washington Post YouTube channel has live aftermath coverage. Max Trades, any chance this is an act of malice by the Trump administration to call it an act of terror and delay the election? I don't think so, but I think until we have more information, we shouldn't speculate. Rob Thomas has signed up on YouTube. M. Redmond says Washington Post has a live stream of the aftermath. Danny Thompson, Bloomberg reports that Beirut's head of general security said explosion was not due to fireworks as reported earlier. Okay, important news. Bia Kasha. Okay, random question here. Are you a big horror movie fan? No. All right, here we go.
Hello. Sorry to keep you all waiting. Before I begin, it is day 42 of the botched New York City primary, where still there is no election results and one congressional race. This, as the New York Times notes, is due to, quote, the deluge of 400,000 mail-in ballots, previewing the, quote, challenges facing the nation as it looks towards conducting the November...
I addressed this on my show today, so I won't interject here.
Now I'd like to highlight the Trump administration's actions on telehealth, which the president detailed yesterday. The president signed an executive order to make regulatory reforms allowing for greater access to telehealth and toward making it permanent. The Trump administration has cut red tape allowing telehealth services for seniors and for other Americans. 35% of Medicare beneficiaries took advantage of the president's reform, seeking telehealth services over the phone rather than through video conference. A simpler and a smarter way to go about things is now available to Medicare beneficiaries. The president also took executive action to boost rural healthcare services. According to a 2019 study by Navigant, rural hospitals would be devastated by Medicare for All, otherwise known as government takeover of healthcare. And under that analysis, they found that if Democrats had their way,
imagine with everything that's going on, just talking about telehealth.
1,037 hospitals across 46 states would be at high risk of closure. The president's executive order calls for strategic investments in our rural communications infrastructure, which will expand telemedicine and rural broadband access. Democrats seek to deny Americans their health care freedom, but President Trump is working hard to save your health care by guaranteeing protections for people with pre-existing conditions, eliminating the highly unpopular individual mandate of Obamacare, stopping surprise medical billing, increasing transparency, and lowering drug prices. President Trump will continue to work hard to enact these healthcare principles by requiring price transparency, allowing states to purchase drugs from other countries, and improving Medicare to lower drug prices and reduce out-of-pocket cost for seniors.
Total gaslight.
And by ending surprise medical billing and making companies compete for your business by providing more options and more affordable plans. Lastly, later today, senior advisor to the president, Ivanka Trump, will be joined by Attorney General Barr, Director of the Domestic Policy Council, Brooke Rollins, executives from organizations that combat human trafficking, and survivors from across the country for a roundtable to highlight newly awarded Department of Justice grants to provide safe, stable housing to survivors of human trafficking. DOJ will award over $35 million in housing assistance grants for victims of human trafficking to provide supportive housing and appropriate services to survivors of human trafficking. And with that, I'll take questions.
Yes. Thank you, Kayleigh. Two questions about the coronavirus. The president of the Minneapolis Federal Reserve, he said 2 days ago that he believed that the only way to have a real strong, robust economic recovery would be to shut the country down again for a month to 6 weeks. I know that this idea of short-term pain for long-term gain has been shot down before by President Trump, but has it been given any more consideration given the recent flare-ups across the country?
No, and I would refer you to what Dr. Fauci said back in May. He said we can't stay locked down for such a considerable period of time that you might do irreparable damage and have unintended consequences, including consequences for health. And several of those consequences I've outlined for you before. For instance, the fact that in any given year you have 120,000 Americans who die from drug overdose or suicide, and we saw during the lockdown previously that we saw overdoses nationally jump by 18% in March and 29% in April, 42% in May. Overdoses do go up, suicides do go up, cancer cases are missed, as Dr. Scott Atlas has pointed out, that in the U.S. alone there are 150,000 new cancer cases.
They're acting like we had some prolonged national shutdown. We never had it. We had sort of sporadic state shutdowns that overlapped with each other to different degrees. It's like she's acting like we've been shut down for 6 months and we can't do anymore.
Identified. So there are many health consequences. Those are three of what are a long list.
But so no matter how bad it gets, you don't think there's any way that President Trump would look at it?
I'm certainly not going to engage in hypotheticals, but no, the president is not considering a national lockdown. What he is encouraging is mitigation efforts like wearing a mask, which is patriotic, like social distancing, and engaging in these really common sense, safe measures to safely
reopen. The common sense of masks, which Trump ignored for 5 months.
Okay, and one more thing about the negotiations going on today on Capitol Hill. Given the amount of money that is involved, the amount of Americans that would be impacted by this next stimulus bill, why isn't President Trump more personally involved, or at least more visible in these negotiations?
Well, he is through his chief of staff and through his secretary of the Treasury. He's regularly updated. I was just in the Oval Office with him, and the chief of staff was updating him on that very measure. But right now, the Democrats are being fundamentally unserious. They've offered no concessions. They've offered no plans. If anything,
they put out a plan 2 months ago. You ignored it.
Straight their unseriousness. Their $3 trillion plan, they've now said, oh, it needs to be $3.4 trillion. When the president has had a very narrow, specific focus right now, it's extending unemployment insurance. It's making sure Americans don't get evicted. And when Democrats, as I noted on Friday, were offered the Martha McSally bill, which would have been extending unemployment insurance for at least 7 days while these negotiations continue, that was rejected by Chuck Schumer, which should tell you exactly where Democrats stand, and it's against hardworking Americans who lost their jobs.
Does anyone even take Kayleigh seriously?
The president about 10 minutes ago tweeted about vote-by-mail absentee voting. He says, in Florida, the election system is safe and secure, tried and true. What, in his view, changed? Was he advised by Republicans that he was potentially suppressing his own vote by stoking unfounded fears about mail-in voting? And will he admit now what is the fact that voting across the country by mail is safe and secure and tried and true?
Well, the president has always said that absentee voting for a reason is different than mass mail-out voting like what Nevada is seeking to do, which leads to mass fraud.
It's the same thing.
And also, I'd refer you to the campaign on this, but there was a victory in Florida with regard to ballots. So I believe that's what he was referencing, would refer you to the campaign for details on that. But he's been unmistakably clear that when you have this mass mail-out voting like what Nevada wants to do, the consequences are real. When the Las Vegas Journal-Review was reporting, did extensive and very good reporting on Nevada's first all-male primary election. They note that there were photos of ballots tossed in trash cans, littering apartment mailbox areas, dozens pinned on the complex's bulletin boards in various apartment complexes. And you have a postal worker who said that when she went to go deliver some of these ballots, in several cases people had moved or died. She kept 65 ballots on her first delivery, 100 on her second. It is with fraud and with delay.
If people died or moved, they wouldn't be voting anyway. Like this is. I spend a lot of time on the podcast today on this, so I'll try not to now.
Narrowly rare. The president votes by mail, you vote by mail, and a dozen other top Trump administration officials vote by mail.
So with regard to the absentee system, that's right. And there is ample evidence of fraud. I would point to the best example of this, and very recent, was May 12th, New Jersey's special election in Paterson, New Jersey, where 1 in 5 mail-in ballots were found to be fraudulent in the election. New Jersey officials were charged in that case, and resident Ramona Javier said this is corruption, this is fraud.
People were caught. That's like saying don't build houses because sometimes smoke detectors work and detect a fire. These people were caught.
Ballot. There are ample examples of fraud, and we can get those to you more than just Paterson, New Jersey.
Another question on a different issue. What can the administration tell us about the deadly explosion in Beirut? What led to it?
So that was breaking as I came out. We're tracking it closely, and just rest assured that we're taking a very good look at that.
So that apparently wasn't the delay.
Thank you. The environmental bill the president signed this morning, it was passed overwhelmingly by both houses of Congress. Both Republicans and Democrats signed on to that legislation. Can you explain why there were no Democrats at the ceremony or even mentioned in the president's remarks?
The president is very proud of what happened today, the single largest investment in America's national parks and public lands in history, the most significant conservation achievement since Teddy Roosevelt won the support of more than 850 conservation groups, and it provides $900 million a year in permanent funding to the Land and Water Conservation Fund. And you're asking about recognition of congressional Democrats right now, and the only thing that we're recognizing about congressional Democrats right now is how appalling it is that there are Americans who are going without paychecks because they refuse to partner with Martha McSally.
Wasn't the question.
And ensuring that those payments go out.
Kayleigh, the president has said, as recently in this Axios interview, that he believes that many people believe that there's disadvantages to testing. Can you walk us through what those disadvantages are, and if, as he stated back in June, he still believes that testing is overrated and makes the U.S. look bad?
So I would know what the president refers to with regard to testing is that, the media doesn't often acknowledge that when you do do the most testing in the world, lead the world in testing, that you do identify more cases. So that is what he refers to with testing, and he's made that point a few times. But look, we lead the world in testing, and the president's very proud of this. The administration's very proud of this. We've done more than...
You guys know you're being propagandized too, right? Like, I hope nobody in my chat is falling for this.
Million by September. That's extraordinary. And when you compare that to the next highest number, India, in the ballpark of about 16 million tests, what we've done in this country is impressive. And the president's very proud of that effort.
Do you still believe that testing in the U.S. is overrated?
The president, again, points out that the media refuses to acknowledge that when you test so much, you do identify more cases. That's the point he was making, and he's very proud that actually...
By the way, what does it mean that the media refuses to acknowledge that? That's such a stupid, meaningless phrase.
Worth mentioning, this is a novel virus. There wasn't a test, and this president led the way in getting emergency use authorizations to one.
That applied to every country. It was new in every country. Other countries dealt with it better. It's not like it was unique that the U.S. didn't have a test and everybody else did.
Thanks, Kayleigh. On TikTok, the president has argued that the United States should receive money in return for a potential sale, but he hasn't really explained how. Under what authority could the Treasury collect fees from China, from Microsoft, or from any other U.S. buyer to get this done as the president demanded?
Yeah, so I'm not going to get ahead of the president on any official action, but he has made that point, and he and both Secretary Pompeo have said that the U.S. will take action in the coming days on Chinese apps, including TikTok, due to the national security risk. And we all agree that there needs to be a change, especially with TikTok collecting significant amounts of private data on users. It's unacceptable, but I won't get ahead of the president on what those actions look like.
Yes, hi, thanks very much. I wanted to ask also on TikTok about Beijing has said that it may hit U.S. firms as a response. It sort of slammed this smash and grab of TikTok. What do you say to that in regard to China? And secondly, China has not complied with its commitments under the U.S.-China Phase 1 trade deal. We're reporting today that they've only completed 5%, for instance, of the energy purchases in this first half of the year. Can you just sort of say?
Yeah, we encourage China to fulfill their obligations in the Phase 1 China deal.
I've seen people walking around with that mask. I don't know how it takes that shape where it's almost like a duck's bill.
On TikTok and protecting the private data of millions of people in this country. And PRC's, the People's Republic of China's laws require Chinese companies to cooperate with PRC security and intelligence services, enabling the CCP to access foreign user data. And what this means is that these entities ultimately answer to the CCP, which actively undermines U.S. interests and is hostile to American values and the rights of individuals. And the president will stand firmly against China on this.
Can I just guess, John?
Thank you, Kayleigh. I wanted to ask you about the COVID relief bill. The president has suggested if there is no agreement that is reached, the president would act unilaterally. As you know, the power of the purse resides with Congress. So what would the president do unilaterally? Explain what he could do unilaterally as it relates to providing relief to
just about every
American families and American...
Just about every question is some form of Trump claims to be doing something that there's no legal framework or basis for. How exactly does he plan to do it?
But what I would say is this, is, right now we have Secretary Mnuchin and Chief of Staff Mark Meadows once again asking Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to come to the table. The ball is in their court here. We've made at least 4 offers. They've made 0 offers. It's unacceptable for hardworking Americans.
Kayleigh, on mail-in voting, which you talked about at the very top of the briefing, the president suggested yesterday that he has the right to write some sort of an executive order as it relates to mail-in balloting.
Right, he does.
Can you explain what would empower the president in the Constitution to take some sort of executive action as it relates to mail-in voting?
Again, I won't get ahead of the president on his actions and what those actions would be, and I'm not going to engage in a hypothetical as to what the actions would be and what authorities they would be based upon for yet to be announced actions. But just to once again underscore the president's concern when you look at the delays in voting in Pennsylvania, a very good report by CBS, Zach Hudak. He got a quote from Luzerne County Manager David Pedri, who oversaw or who identified some of these delays that they saw in Pennsylvania with mass mail-in voting. And he said this, quote, "I have this nightmare of CNN, Fox, CBS, and everyone else waiting for these things to come in on election night, and we don't have them. It is very hard to speed up this process."
So then you wait a few days and we make sure the results are right. I'm fine with that. Who cares?
We've seen in Pennsylvania, as we've seen in New York, as we see across the country, the president's very concerned about delays and outright fraud.
He suggested delaying the election.
May. The president said yesterday in the briefing that took place right here in the briefing room, the United States should get a very large percentage of that price because we're making it possible, and that was referring to Microsoft's proposed purchase of TikTok. I've never heard of that before, and maybe you could explain that to me, how the government could get a percentage of a price of a private transaction.
Again,
Can you explain
I'm not
how
going to get ahead of the president again on this action. Yes, Francesca.
Kayleigh, I want to ask you something about the executive orders, but I do want to follow up on Kristen's question and just get a better understanding of what the president is doing personally to make sure that those extra unemployment benefits are reinstated. Is he calling senators on Capitol Hill? Does he have any plans to meet with Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer personally? And is the White House concerned that all parties will be blamed if there is no deal and voters will just stay home in November?
No one has worked harder to ensure that those payments get to Americans than this administration. Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, Secretary Treasury Steve Mnuchin have been on the Hill many days now trying to get this deal worked out. But it is Democrats, it is Nancy Pelosi, it is Chuck Schumer that are making an absolute mockery of this process.
Trump literally golfed Saturday and Sunday this past weekend.
Extension of unemployment insurance, they are moving beyond what their initial request was of $3 trillion, and then they moved to $3.4 trillion. They wanted $100 billion for schools, and we offered $105 billion, to which they rejected. They are making a mockery of this process. We're still engaging with them, but this president has been clear. He's ready to act on this, and it is of paramount importance to him. And again, why would you reject Martha McSally's clean extension? Democrats are fundamentally unserious, and they're making a mockery of the process.
Them?
You mean,
okay, then if you don't want to move on that, with regards to the executive orders, the president has signed a flurry of those recently. He said yesterday that he expects to have a health care plan by the end of the month and also an immigration plan by next month. Does the White House feel a sense of pressure to get everything on the president's to-do list done before November?
No, but the president moves at a very rapid pace, and he wants to get as much of his agenda accomplished this term and going into next term. This president's done a lot already, but he will work on COVID, and alongside that, many other issues as he routinely does. This administration often is accomplishing items on 2 or 3 different topics in a day, as you can see today with the human trafficking, the event this morning, and then also I have an announcement. The president will have a COVID briefing at 5:30. But I do want to just step back and say this with regard to COVID. I think it's really important to put the successes of this administration in context, and I got some new information from HHS just before.
This is a scripted walk-off, right?
You know, this was a novel virus. There were no tests. There were no therapeutics. But what did this administration do? We, as I noted earlier, surge testing, increased it by 32,000 since March. HHS is projecting 100 million tests completed by September. Because of President Trump's tearing down of red tape, there are more than 230 clinical trials of potential COVID drugs and biological products are underway, and over 510 are in the planning stages. Today, NIH announced 2 separate COVID treatment trials, Active 2 and Active 3, and these are monoclonal antibody treatments.
With plasma.
And also by September, we have secured more than 500,000 courses of treatment of remdesivir. That is one of the several therapeutics that this president has achieved and finding for the American people to treat this novel disease, this novel virus. And the vaccine, again, moving to phase 3 clinical trial at the fastest rate for any novel virus in history. This could only be accomplished by President Trump, by a businessman in the White House who is not only on the race to get a vaccine, we have 2 in phase 3 clinical trial, but is securing 100 million doses in advance so that we're ready to ship them out. This president has been hard at work on COVID, along with a number of other issues, and those EOs will be forthcoming.
Yes. Are you calling me? Can I please go?
Yes.
Israel reopens. Israel opens schools. Israel opens schools Israel opened schools and they had issues with that. There were outbreaks, students got sick.
called on you.
What do you think of the fact that Israel opened schools and had to close?
I called on you and you didn't ask your question, so then I proceeded
To speak over another reporter, I wasn't going to do that. So do you not want to answer my question now that I was not being rude to another reporter?
Andrew.
Okay, the president said
Oh my
in
God.
his interview with Axios that he's doing everything he can do to address the virus. Is that really true? I mean, is there nothing more that he can do at this point? And also, is he willing? Does that suggest that he's willing to accept the number of deaths that we're seeing every day?
No, we are hard at work each and every day to defeat the invisible enemy. And in fact, just to give you an update on some of the actions we've taken, right now there are currently 28,220 U.S. government personnel deployed for COVID-19 response. On top of that, next week, Dr. Birx has visited states across the country, and next week she'll be visiting Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. We're hard at work at, again, getting more EUAs for more treatments and therapeutics. And testing. So every day we're rapidly looking at how we can make this the most robust response in the history of this country. And I think that we've done that when you look at remdesivir and the therapeutics at play, and the case fatality rate is really indicative of what this president has done. When we have
Remember CFR, we should be looking at deaths per capita. You remember that, I'm sure.
Average of the world and below Europe. That shows that our therapeutics are working. Remdesivir, convalescent plasma, and dexamethasone. This president's hard at work, and he'll continue to work hard.
None of that stuff has anything to do with Trump.
There are still waits for getting test results back, when you have declined to impose a national mask mandate, when you're saying you won't shut down the entire country again.
So with regard to testing and the timing, when we identify a problem, we quickly identify a solution. And
for example, in February, we didn't have enough tests, and we still have a 5 to 7 day delay. Yeah, real quick.
Testing. We already lead the world in testing, so to increase the speed, we move towards pool testing, and that's the flexibility with which this administration adapts to problems we identify on the ground, and we rapidly develop a solution to ameliorate the problem. Yes.
Thank you, Kayleigh. Would the president like to see Mitch McConnell put the $600 extension of the unemployment benefits through the end of the year on the Senate floor to put the Democrats in the spot of having to vote for that clean extension?
So I haven't talked to him about that proposal, and I don't want to get into the middle of the negotiations. But it's safe to say is there's been one clean proposal to extend unemployment insurance. That was put forward by Martha McSally. The president was ready to sign it, and it was rejected by Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi.
Can I follow up and just ask on a slightly separate topic, whether or not the White House has a view on whether or not members of the media, a pool, should be allowed to cover the Republican National Convention's official proceedings in Charlotte, which apparently, as of right now, because of the space limitations, the convention committee is saying that that's not going to be possible.
I'm not read into the convention discussions, but I certainly will inquire about that and follow up with you and find out what the status is. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Kayleigh. Do you have anything with regards to the massive explosion in Beirut that occurred earlier?
Said no.
Again, that was breaking as I came out here, and it's safe to say we are monitoring the situation. Yes.
Thanks for calling on me. I wanted to give my question over to you, Nish.
Sure, that's fine.
Wow.
Thanks so much. So my question is, I have two questions. The first question is, Israel opened its schools back up. They thought they had the virus under control. That virus then spread and it became an outbreak. Students got sick. They had to close schools down. How worried are you that what happened in Israel might happen here, given the fact that there are experts in Israel who say they made a mistake there?
Well, I would refer to our experts, and CDC Director Robert Redfield answered.
I saw a picture of Ben Dixon actually posted it, of a school open in Georgia today. It's just a mass of people in a hallway all packed together with no masks.
The world. It is in the public health interest that these K through 12 students get back to schools that are open for face-to-face learning. I want these kids back in school. It is paramount to the health of the child.
The president just tweeted, you answered a question about this, mail-in voting or absentee voting, whatever you call it. He's saying that essentially it's the same thing. So why is it now something that can be done in Florida but not in other states? Why is that the appropriate thing to do?
He's not saying, he's always made the distinction. Mass mail-out voting is with Nevada, where ballots are mailed in mass out to the voter rolls. So in a place like LA, for instance, where 112% of LA County is registered, ballots go out, and at least 12% of those we know are not active voters. So that is the distinction from absentee voting, which is where you proactively request an absentee ballot. There's a difference there, and the president repeatedly makes the difference. And he is also noting, as I told Jeff, you can follow up with the campaign on this, but there was a victory in the courts in Florida, and that's what he was referencing in the tweet.
Yes. Thanks, Kayleigh. You mentioned extending the eviction moratorium and unemployment insurance. On Saturday, Trump tweeted, payroll tax cuts plus dollars. Is a payroll tax cut still on the table?
The president would love to see the payroll tax holiday because it would in fact benefit low and middle income Americans the most. But right now his keen and laser focus is unemployment insurance and evictions. Those are the preeminent priority, especially with that Friday deadline that Nancy Pelosi missed.
Pelosi?
Chanel.
Thank you, Kayleigh. This administration has identified human trafficking as a crisis and has worked to combat it.
It looked like she turned to a particular page even before knowing the question, because is it scripted in advance with OAN?
Platform that enables sexual exploitation of young people, especially in America. Would this administration ever consider, if TikTok became a U.S. asset, would this administration ever consider rules or imposing rules that would help mitigate this risk against young people on the platform TikTok?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to the president about that specific fact scenario, but absolutely it is a priority for this administration to combat human trafficking and the exploitation of children. So we would certainly take a close look at that. But I have not talked to him about that specific fact pattern. I would like to end just by highlighting a troubling trend that I think we've seen play out across the country, and I believe we have a few graphics to illustrate this. It pertains to the defund the police movement. And when you look at across the country, the ties of defunding the police with increases in violence, it's a cause for concern.
Remember, nothing's been defunded yet, so you can't link it causally in this way.
Bring in the defund the police movement. In Los Angeles, you had LA Mayor Eric Garcetti proposing a cut of $150 million from the LAPD. LA Mayor Garcetti said this.
Can you imagine? If you wanted to commit a murder and you hear that there's a proposal to defund, why would you go and commit the murder now? Wouldn't you wait until the police has been defunded? Like, how you'd have to be an idiot to say, oh, in the future there will be less police, so let me go kill someone now.
Movement was afoot as well, with a unanimous vote in Minneapolis City and their council to dismantle the police. And you had Minneapolis City Council member Jeremiah Ellison saying this is one action of many.
All right, guys, this is literal gutter trash, so I'm not even going to broadcast it for you. I'm sorry that she was an hour late. I do appreciate that you were here with me. This'll rot your brain. This is worse than anything I can imagine. So I'm not going to play it for you, but I may be back later today for the Trump Cobb Feffy stream, or maybe not. I may be streaming later with Alex Botez for my chess tournament preparation, or maybe not. On the way out, please do follow my channel on Twitch. We're trying to get to 50,000 followers. And please do hit that subscribe button on YouTube. It's free. You'll be notified of future streams. I hope to see you there. And we are in a race against ourselves, against time, to 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So please do hit that subscribe button as you head out. Kayleigh McEnany wrapping up here. Well,
and it's not acceptable. Thank you very much, and you'll see the president at 5:30.
There you go. So complete and utter total trash, to the extent that was, everything is crazy. Everything. I'm going to go curl up in a ball now because that was just absolutely insane. But thank you for joining me. Subscribe and follow. We'll be back later.